Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the MLB slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Monday, August the 17th. We got an 11 gamer tonight on Draftkings, 11 gamer on Yahoo as well. We do have some early games. I think some, makeup games are being played in the afternoon, but those aren't included on the main slate. We're just going to take a look at the 11 game main slate on DK and Yahoo. So before we do get started, guys, as always, I'd appreciate it if you would hit that like button down below. That's the way you let me know that you enjoy these videos, just by hitting the like button. Hit the subscribe button as well. You're definitely going to want to be subscribed to the channel right now. I am uploading a ton of content every single day. I'm trying to get up NBA and MLB videos every single day to this channel. I've been missing a few MLB videos here and there, but definitely trying to get up, NBA every single day. Especially now that the playoffs are here, the DFS action is, through the roof. Huge tournaments for NBA every night. My NBA videos have been doing so well, and even my MLB videos have been doing, really well also. So I can't thank you guys enough for the support. If you are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We just hit 19,000 subscribers, a couple days ago. Again, guys, can't thank you enough for all the support. Ever since sports have came back, my channel has just took off. You guys have really been enjoying the videos, been getting a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new faces in the comment section. So thank you to everyone who has come to the channel. I do appreciate it. If you enjoy the content, like I said, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to get more content from me, I do have stuff available on Patreon. If you really enjoy these YouTube videos and you want to see more that I have to offer, that is linked down below in the description. I have written content over on Patreon. I do articles Monday through Friday for both NBA and MLB. I give updated core plays for both NBA and MLB over on Patreon. And I'm always in Discord throughout the day. Our Discord chat is available for Patreon members. You can ask me questions. You can ask whoever's in the Discord. You can ask them questions. If you want to talk through the slate, if you want to talk roster construction, you want to ask, what do I think about this lineup? I'll answer all that in Discord. So, definitely get in the Discord, check everything out. Check out the Patreon, see all that I have to offer. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at pitcher for today. We'll start off at the top. Nobody over 10K today on DraftKings at least. Our two most expensive pitchers are both 9,400. We got Hyun-Jin Ryu facing the Orioles, and then Chris Bassett facing the Diamondbacks. So we'll start off with Ryu. He's been better as of late. His last two games, he's looked like Hyun-Jin Ryu. 5 innings, 6 innings against the Braves and against the Marlins. 28 and 23 DraftKings points. He was really he didn't look great his first two starts this season against the Rays and Nats. Kind of got blown up in both starts. Gave up 3 runs through 4 2/3 innings against the Rays. Gave up 5 runs through 4 1/3 innings against the Nats. But like I said, Ryu's looked better as of late. This is still a guy that does have pretty good strikeout stuff, that does have upside. I know the Orioles have been much better this season just so far, but this is still a team I don't really believe in, a team I definitely think we want to attack. I do like Ryu as a pay-up option here. If we look at this Orioles lineup, there are plenty of strikeouts here, especially, towards the bottom of the lineup. Guys like Pedro Severino, Chris Davis, a huge strikeout guy. Renato Nunez will strike out as well. I do like Ryu. I don't think he's a must-play today. I don't think he's a guy you have to have. There are some other options for cheaper that have just as much upside, but he's definitely one of my favorite favorite pay-up options to play. You do have Chris Bassett at the same price, but I think I would rather go to Ryu. I just like Ryu's matchup a little bit more. The Diamondbacks just aren't a team I like attacking with opposing pitching. They don't really strike out much. They seem to put the ball in play. Plus, Bassett himself is not really a heavy strikeout guy. A good strikeout game from Bassett is 6 or 7 Ks. Normally, he's only getting about 3 to 4 Ks, per start. Just not a guy that I really feel like I need to go to at 9,400. I think Ryu does give you more upside, so I would rather play him. Ryu does look pretty good on Yahoo. Over here, he's only $37. I think he definitely looks like one of the stronger plays on Yahoo if you want to go to him in that mid-range. But there's some other guys I like paying up for today. I think Griffin Canning looks really good here against the Giants. I like him a lot on both sides. He's $8,200 on DraftKings. He is incredibly cheap over on Yahoo. He's $28. Same price as Martin Perez, same price as Chris Bubik, same price as Anibal Sanchez. Definitely give me some Griffin Canning on Yahoo. I think he's one of the, along with Hyun-Jin Ryu, he's probably one of the more underpriced pitchers as well. Canning is a guy that does have some upside. He's not an elite strikeout pitcher by any means. I believe his K rate's around 20%. But this is a somewhat favorable matchup for strikeouts. The Giants, not a good lineup, not a ton of strikeouts. If we do look at K rate so far this season against right-handed pitching, the Giants are about middle of the pack. See if I can find San Francisco. They are 19th, 22.7% K rate so far against righties this season. There's not a lot of power in this lineup, though. They don't have a great lineup to begin with. Not a ton of strikeouts here, but you're not really worried about guys like Evan Longoria, Pablo Sandoval, Brandon Crawford. Like, these just aren't hitters you're going to be scared of. Mike Yastrzemski's been pretty good this season. Brandon Bell still has some good power. But overall, this is just not a lineup I'm scared of. Griffin Canning, I like a lot here at home. Pitching in Angel Stadium, a relatively pretty good pitcher's park, if I had to say. I know they did make some changes to their fences in the outfield, but I still think this is a pretty favorable pitcher's park. I do like Griffin Canning a lot at 8,200. He hasn't been great so far this season. I will admit that. He's definitely looked rough. His best start of the season came against the Astros, which is kind of crazy. 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 run, just 5 strikeouts, 16 Draftkings points. His last 2 starts, he's really struggled against Texas and against Oakland. But, Oakland has a really good lineup. Texas, they have a decent lineup. They do have a lot of strikeouts, so I would have expected Canning to pitch much better in that matchup. I do like him here, though, against the Giants. Like, the Giants are just always going to be a team that I attack with opposing pitching. It's not going to stop today. I think Griffin Canning looks like a really strong option at 8,200. And then for a little bit cheaper, Ross Stripling. I feel like I've played Ross Stripling like every start he's made this season. I like him again today here, pitching at home against the Mariners. The Mariners are another team that I always look to attack with opposing pitching. I do like Stripling over on Yahoo as well, $42. Kind of expensive over there, but I still think he's worth the price tag. He's got the upside in this matchup. If we do look at K rate against righties this season, the Mariners, they're about middle of the pack as well, 23.6% K rate against righties. But last year, this was a team that was top 10 in K rate against right-handed pitching. So I think as the season goes on, we're going to see the Mariners start to rise in the leaderboards in terms of strikeout rate against righties. It's just not a good lineup. There are strikeouts here. You can definitely get Ks with guys like Daniel Vogelbach, Kyle Lewis. He's a good young prospect, but he has a pretty high strikeout rate. I'm pretty sure Dylan Moore will K as well. I think you can get some Ks from Evan White too. Really, the only guys that don't strike out much are like J.P. Crawford, Kyle Seager, Malik Smith, even Shed Long, mainly the lefties. Like, these righties, you can definitely strike out. Ross Stripling, has really good numbers against righties, does get good strikeouts against right-handed hitters as well. The Dodgers are also huge favorites here, minus 283. I think it's very likely that Ross Stripling able to get a win in this game. Very low implied run total for the Mariners, just 3.5 runs, which I believe right now is the lowest on the slate out of all the games that we have totals for. So, yeah, I think Ross Stripling looks really good here. Like I said, I feel like I've played this dude every start. I know I played him his last 2 starts against the Padres. I played him when he faced San Francisco, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I played him, though, against the D-backs. I can't remember, honestly, but I've definitely, been on him the last 2 starts. He was okay the first start against the Padres. Last start he definitely struggled. I do expect him to pitch really well today. I like the matchup a lot. Stripling's fully stretched out. We shouldn't worry about pitch count concerns. He's going to go 90 to 100 pitches if he's pitching well. Doubt he gets to 100, but like 90 to 95, he'll definitely throw that because he's thrown 92 pitches in 2 of his 4 starts this season. I like Stripling a lot at 7,900. I think the upside's there against a weak Mariners lineup and, a Mariners team that does have strikeouts in its lineup as well. So those are 2 guys I like quite a bit. You pair those 2 guys on DK, and you still got over 4,200 remaining per player. A lot of salary to work with. You should be able to fit those 2 guys in and get some decent pitching, or get some decent bats, I should say. But other pitchers we could take a look at today, just besides those 2 guys and besides Ryu, I think there is some value here at pitcher. Jordan Lyles, I liked a lot in his last start against the Mariners. He was terrible. I think he only finished with like 6 Draftkings points, or actually 4.7 DK points. Pitched 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 homers, 4 walks. He was just terrible in that start. I would expect a bounce back game from him here. I do like the matchup against the Padres. The Padres have a really good lineup, but they are a team that strikes out a lot against right-handed pitching. If you look at their K rate so far this season, I believe they're about middle of the pack as well. Let me see if I can find San Diego. Yeah, San Diego about middle of the pack, 24.2%. But last season, their K rate against righties was, second highest in the league. Like similar to the Mariners, I think as the season goes on, we're going to see the Padres sort of rise in the leaderboards when it comes to K rate against righties. I do like the matchup for Lyles. I like the strikeout upside that he has against this Padres team. So into 7,300, I don't mind going to him today. I don't mind a guy like Robert Gazelman either, but I just don't know how long he's going to pitch in this game. So last start, he only threw 33 pitches, only threw 2 innings. We don't know yet what his workload's going to be like today. Right now, Draftkings has him listed as an opener, so I guess he's not going to pitch too deep into the game. But if we can get word that Gazelman can go maybe 60 to 70 pitches, maybe 4 to 5 innings. I mean, at 4,500 against the Marlins, I would definitely have interest. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. I think we're probably going to get about 50 pitches. He's probably going to go about 3 innings today. They're just going to slowly ramp him up and get him, thrusted into a starter's workload. Because I believe they did lose. Yeah, they lost Jacob deGrom to the IL, and Marcus Stroman opted out. So they got to find new starters. Gazelman's been a starter in the past, but right now, he was mainly working out of the bullpen, so they got to get him ramped up. Get his pitch count up. I don't expect him to go from 33 pitches last start to suddenly 90 pitches today. That's just not going to happen. But I mean, even if we can get 60 out of him, if he can throw 4 innings maybe against this Marlins team for 4,500, I guess that's not a terrible play. But yeah, I guess it is a little bit risky just because we don't know how deep he's going to pitch into the game. There really isn't much value though at pitcher, like 7K and below. I don't really want to play Kyle Freeland against the Astros. Jordan Yamamoto against the Mets. I don't think I want to go there. Whistler, it seems like he's just going to be an opener, even in a somewhat friendly matchup against the Royals. I don't think we can go there. I don't want to play Tyler Anderson against the Angels. Martin Perez against the Yankees, not going there. Justin Dunn against the Dodgers, not going there. I think my favorite, cheap pitcher is probably Jordan Lyles at 7,300. I don't really see myself playing anyone under Lyles unless we get word that Gazelman can go deep enough into the game that I would have interest in him. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for pitcher today. Not much that I love. I think Ryu, Canning, Stripling, and Lyles definitely look like 4 really good options. Maybe Matt Boyd against the White Sox, but Matt Boyd's just been so bad this season. This is a guy that actually played a lot last season. He showed a lot of upside, does get a lot of strikeouts, but that hasn't been the case so far this season. I don't know what's been going on, but he's been getting absolutely rocked, been giving up a ton of home runs. Just faced this White Sox team and got shelled. Gave up 7 hits, 7 runs through 4 2/3 innings, gave up 2 homers. Yeah, it's pretty risky with Matt Boyd right now. He's still expensive too at 8,900. Chris Bassett, I talked about him. I don't think I really want to pay up for him against the Diamondbacks team that doesn't strike out much. Zach Gallen, I think, is pretty interesting. I don't love the spot against Oakland. Oakland's hitting the ball incredibly well right now. They have a really good lineup, but they do have a lot of righties in their lineup. Zach Gallen is really good against righties. If we do take a look at their lineup, their projected lineup for tomorrow does have, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 6 righties in it. The only lefties in the projected lineup are Tony Kemp, Matt Olson, and Robbie Grossman. So it is a pretty good spot for Zach Gallen. I think besides the four guys that I've already talked about, if I had to put in a 5th guy into my player pool, it would definitely be Zach Gallen. But that's probably it for me. I don't love anyone else. I think those 5 guys are mainly where I'm going to be, keeping my ownership for today, where I'm mainly going to be, just concentrating my pitcher ownership. I don't really play too many pitchers to begin with. I try and keep my pitcher player pool pretty tight, just kind of play the guys that I really feel confident in, just fading everyone else. That's just how I like to play. Some people are different. Me personally, I like to, just go really heavy on my pitchers, the 3 or 4 or 5 pitchers that I like, and then kind of mix it up when it comes to hitters. I'll play anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 different stacks, depending on how big the slate is and depending on how many lineups I play. So that's kind of what I'm liking at pitcher for tonight, guys. Let's take a look at some bats real quick. We'll talk about 3 specific hitters I like, and then we'll take a look at some stacks before we end the video. So I think the first team I want to talk about, the Yankees here against Martin Perez, I like a lot. 5.9 implied run total for the Yankees, which I believe is the highest on the slate right now. Martin Perez, he hasn't been great so far this season. He's been a guy I've played some in the past, but lately he's been, kind of getting shelled. This is not the spot for Martin Perez either, having to go into Yankee Stadium to face this really good Yankees lineup. I know the Yankees are missing both Stanton and Judge right now, but this is still a really good lineup without Stanton and Judge. I mean, Clint Frazier has been incredible so far this season. Even like Mike Tauchman, I know, I don't know if he'll be in the lineup against a lefty, but he's been so good. He's a guy that should play more, but because the Yankees outfield is so loaded, Tauchman just isn't an everyday player. But like Clint Frazier, he's been hitting the ball incredibly well. Been, filling in for both Stanton and Judge, doing a good job. So I still don't want to, pick on this Yankees team. Like, just because they're missing Stanton and Judge doesn't make it a spot where I want to play Martin Perez, and it doesn't make it a spot where I think Martin Perez is going to have success either. I still think this Yankee stack looks incredible even without those two guys. And we'll start off with Gleyber Torres. He's one of my favorite targets from this Yankees team. 4,600 on DraftKings, I think, is a little bit too cheap for Torres here against a lefty. And then on Yahoo, you also have Gleyber Torres at a very nice price. I believe he is $14. Yeah, $14 on Yahoo. Looks really good at shortstop. We know this is a guy that hits left-handed pitching incredibly well. Always had good numbers against lefties. And if we do take a look at Martin Perez's numbers last season against righties, this is a guy you do want to take right-handed hitters against. Gave up a 353 WOBA to right-handed hitters. If we look at his home runs, did give up some home runs to righties, 1.54 home runs per 9. Really didn't get any strikeouts either. Just an 18% K rate to both sides of the plate. So Perez, not really a strikeout pitcher to begin with. Did give up a little bit of hard contact too, 35.9% hard hit rate to right-handed hitters. I like the spot a lot for the Yankees. I think Gleyber Torres at 4,600 on DK, $14 on Yahoo looks like one of my main targets from this Yankees lineup. And then, like I said, man, Clint Frazier just been hitting the ball so well so far for the Yankees. This is a guy that I think would probably be an everyday player if he played for any other team. But because he plays for the Yankees and because their outfield is so loaded, Clint Frazier doesn't get the chance to play every day. I kind of wish he would go to a different team so we could really see Clint Frazier, getting an everyday role, because I think this is one of the most underrated hitters in the league. If you watch him hit, he just looks like he knows what he's doing at the plate, just has a great stance, is able to put the barrel on the ball, has a ton of power, has some speed as well. He's a guy that, can steal bases. They will let him run. I like Frazier a lot. 4,400 on DraftKings. I think with that price where it is, people aren't going to be willing to pay that price if I had to guess. Plus, Frazier usually does bat towards the bottom of the lineup, which is automatically going to make him, more of a contrarian option. Guys at the bottom of the lineup, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, usually always come in lower owned than they should just because they're batting at the bottom of the lineup. So even though I think the Yankees will be a popular stack today, maybe a guy like Clint Frazier goes overlooked because he is batting towards the bottom of the order and because he's not that cheap either. I think he looks like a great tournament play on DraftKings, 4,400. I mean, he's just an incredibly good hitter, incredibly underrated, has power against lefties, has some speed as well. And he is a guy that does strike out a lot, but like I said, Martin Perez, just an 18% K rate against lefties last season. Not really a guy that's just going to go out there and get a ton of strikeouts. I mean, we'll take a look at his starts this season. He's only given up 1 home run so far this season through 4 starts, but you look at the strikeouts, 5-4, 5-2 strikeouts. He's just not a guy that's going to go out there and mow teams down. He's going to let you put the ball in play. And against this elite Yankees lineup in Yankee Stadium, I don't see Martin Perez having much success here. So Torres and Frazier I like a lot on DraftKings. I think Clint Frazier looks really good on Yahoo as well. He's $15. He's kind of expensive, but again, it'll make his ownership really low. He's been very low owned pretty much every slate that the Yankees have played, and he's been absolutely crushing. I mean, he's only played in 4 games, and besides the game on Sunday Night Baseball, on Sunday night, 32 fantasy points, 3 for 3 with a double and a homer. Against the Red Sox, went 1 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Against the Braves, 3 for 4 with a double and a home run, 2 runs scored, an RBI. He's just been hitting the ball so well. Gonna have a chance to play every day now that Judge and Stanton are out. Really like Clint Frazier on Yahoo too. But I think Gary Sanchez, probably one of the main guys I'll be targeting on Yahoo. $9 for Gary Sanchez. I don't know what Yahoo's doing. They've been leaving Gary Sanchez this cheap pretty much all season. I know he hasn't been hitting the ball too well, but he's been heating up lately. Has a homer in 3 of his last 4 games. Has really shown that power. This is still one of the best power hitting catchers in the league. The batting average looks terrible at 125, but that's the kind of hitter that Gary Sanchez is. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and he's not going to go 4 for 4. He's a guy that's going to go, 1 for 4 with a home run. He's going to swing for the fences. He's going to strike out a lot, but he still gives you that big time power. And like I said, Martin Perez, 18% K rate against righties last season. Not going to strike guys out. Going to let you put the ball in play. Gary Sanchez, I like a lot. Just $9 on Yahoo. I think he's easily one of the top catcher plays. I think Mitch Garver, looks really good as well. Another guy that's just been way too cheap on Yahoo this season. You got Mitch Garver coming in at $12 against a lefty today. Probably will be leading off. So Garver and Sanchez easily my top 2 catchers on Yahoo, and I think Gary Sanchez at $9 overall is just one of my favorite hitters on the slate. So that's kind of what I'm liking from the Yankees. Obviously I'll be stacking the Yankees tonight, so Urshela, Hicks, Voit, Obviously, Frazier, Gardner, like even the lefties, I won't leave out of my stacks. Just a way to make them contrarian. I don't know if this is going to be their actual lineup though. I don't know who they would replace Tauchman with, who they could bring off the bench. I'm trying to think. I don't know exactly who they could bring off the bench to replace Tauchman. Maybe Tauchman will be in the lineup even against the lefty, just because they have no one else, because Stanton and Judge are both out. Even though their lineup isn't as good as it can be, still an elite Yankees lineup. Still got a team with a ton of power. I do like this team quite a bit. So really like the Yankees. I think the Braves look pretty good as well here against Anibal Sanchez. So Anibal Sanchez has just been so terrible this season. I don't know what's been going on, but he has been getting absolutely shelled pretty much every start. He's faced Toronto, the Orioles, and the Mets. Last start against the Mets, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs through 2 2/3 innings. Against the Orioles, gave up 10 hits, 5 runs through 5 1/3 innings. And then against the Blue Jays, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs through 5 innings. He's just been so bad, and now he has to face a really good Braves lineup that has a lot of power, that has guys that will make contact, that are going to, put the ball in play, not strike out. I know the Braves, they're missing some guys right now. No Ozzie Albies, no Ronald Acuna, both those guys on the IL. But it's still a really good lineup that has a lot of power. I like the top quite a bit. I like Dansby Swanson today. I think Freddie Freeman's one of my favorite plays on the slate. Marcell Ozuna I like a lot as well. You get value too. Once you get past the top 3 hitters on DraftKings, you get so much value here with Nick Markakis for $3,500, Adam Duvall for $3,700, Yohan Camargo for $3,500, Travis d'Arnaud $2,500 as a catcher play. I really like the Braves here against Sanchez. I definitely want to attack Sanchez right now. Like, he just doesn't look like the same pitcher that he did last season. He's actually decent last season, had decent numbers, but so far he's been getting shelled. And Freddie Freeman, probably one of my favorite targets from this Braves team. He's expensive, $5,300 on DK, pretty expensive on Yahoo too at $19. But we should have the salary to get him in. I mean, going Canning and Stripling, like I said earlier, it gives you about $4,200 remaining per player, which you can make work. If you want to stack the Braves, you can easily do that. You can easily do like a 5-man Braves stack and a 3-man Yankee stack with Griffin or with Canning and Stripling, or you can go 4 Yankees, 4 Braves, especially with how cheap the Braves are. Besides the top 3 hitters, Swanson, Freeman, and Ozuna, you get so much value. 4 through 7 with Markakis, Duvall, Camargo, d'Arnaud, even Austin Riley. I wouldn't leave out of my stacks because he has a lot of power. He will definitely strike out a lot, but a guy that does have a ton of power. And if we do look at Anibal Sanchez, you look at his numbers last season, they were actually pretty decent. Just gave up a 284 WOBA to righties. Still did give up a 311 WOBA to lefties, though. Did give up home runs to lefties, 1.34 home runs per 9 to left-handed hitters. And very similar to Martin Perez, Anibal Sanchez really just not a pitcher that's going to strike people out. Going to let you put the ball in play. Just an 18% K rate to lefties, 19.2% to righties last season. Did give up a decent amount of hard contact, 31% to lefties, 32% to righties. Did give up a lot of fly balls to right-handed hitters, over 45% fly ball percentage to righties last season. So I do like the spot here for the Braves. If you take a look at Sanchez's numbers so far this season, I mean, they're really, really bad. I know it's a small sample size, but he's given up a 487 WOBA to lefties, a 477 WOBA to righties. I mean, the home runs, 3 home runs per 9 to lefties, 3.86 to righties. These numbers aren't going to, be this bad rest of the season. But I guess it is a huge concern. He's given up so much hard contact, a ton of fly balls, giving up a ton of home runs. Like, Sanchez has just been so bad this season. I definitely want to attack him, especially, while he's pitching so poorly. I like this spot a lot for the Braves. They do have a pretty high total, so Vegas agrees, with me here. Vegas likes him as well, 5.5 implied run total for the Braves. I think they look like one of the better stacks along with the Yankees here. Definitely like this Braves lineup, and even though, they're missing 2 of their better hitters, they're still a team that has solid hitters overall, still a team you can stack, especially because, these bench guys come in and they give you a lot of value with how cheap they are. So those are just 3 specific hitters that I like for tonight. Now, if we want to talk about some stacks real quick, just before we end the video. So obviously, the Yankees and the Braves are 2 teams I like a lot today. We talked about some of the hitters I like in both those lineups. Looking at some other teams we could go to, though, Alex Cobb, not really a pitcher I believe in. Definitely a guy I look to attack whenever he's pitching. I think the Blue Jays do look pretty good here. They're another team that's very cheap on DraftKings. $3,700 for Randall Grichuk, $3,900 for Travis Shaw. Joe Panic, if he's in the lineup, he's not the best hitter, but he's $2,600. Rowdy Tellez has a lot of power. He's $3,400. Even the middle part of their lineup, not too expensive. $45 for Teoscar, $44 for Gurriel. I do like the Blue Jays quite a bit here against Alex Cobb. I think, the Twins look great as well against Chris Bubic. I don't know too much about Bubic. I think he's only made a few starts this season. But the Twins have a 5.7 implied run total. We know they have a really good lineup, have a ton of power. Guys like Mitch Garver, Nelson Cruz, I always love to target against lefties. Even Polanco, Gonzalez, Sano, I think you can look to those guys as well. Wouldn't leave Rosario or Kepler out of my stacks, though. Definitely include those guys. They're going to come in at low ownership. Even a chalky twin stack, you can get different by rostering the Twins. Just include the lefties or include, the bottom of the lineup guys, and that automatically makes your stack, a little bit contrarian. Even some Astros against Kyle Freeland, I think, makes some sense. Springer, Bregman, Altuve's been so bad this season, they've moved him down to the 7 hole. I still like rostering Altuve, though, because that's, him moving down in the lineup is going to just lower his ownership. Like Altuve or Springer and Bregman look really good. If Yordan Alvarez is in the lineup, I think he's really good, even against a lefty. Gurriel as well. Hits the left-handed pitching very well. And then the Dodgers, I think, do look pretty appealing here against Justin Dunn. Justin Dunn just really doesn't have much to offer. Hasn't done much this season. You look at the game log so far, I think he's made just 2 or 3 starts. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, he's made 3 starts this season. He's given up 3 home runs through the 3 starts, given up at least 2 runs in every start as well. Not really a guy that gets strikeouts, 2, 4, and 2 strikeouts through 3 starts. We should expect a lot of balls in play here. Right now the Dodgers do have the highest run total on the slate, 6.1 runs, which is very high for a game in Dodger Stadium. I mean, Vegas really likes the Dodgers here. I don't mind them at all. Cody Bellinger is someone that's been really cheap on Yahoo. Let me check what his price is today. Like Cody Bellinger's $14 on Yahoo. I think he looks like an excellent play at that price. Same price as like Gleyber Torres and another guy that's way too cheap. So yeah, you could definitely go with the Dodgers here, but if I had to say like my core stacks, my favorite like 3 or 4 teams, definitely the Yankees, the Braves, probably the Twins would be my 3rd favorite, and then 4th favorite, it'd be close between like the Blue Jays or the Astros. I think I'd probably side with the Blue Jays just because, 4.9 total, maybe they don't get as much ownership, not as much attention with the run total not as high as some other teams. So that's kind of what I'm liking for stacks, like 4 or 5 teams that I like. You can obviously go the Dodgers and the Astros as well. Those will definitely be stacks I include in my, stack player pool, my stack ownership. But I think a lot of my ownership today is going to go to the Yankees and the Braves. Those are 2 teams I do like quite a bit. But yeah, guys, I think we covered it all. Talked about pitching, a couple bats I like. We hit on some stacks as well. I think we broke it all down for this 11-game slate. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I really do appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy, just hit that like button before you get out of here. It lets me know that you enjoyed the videos. Hit the subscribe button as well. Click that notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload. And if you want to get more content from me, I do have stuff available on Patreon that is linked down below in the description. You can get access to my articles that I write Monday through Friday. Those are posted on Patreon. I do, write articles for both NBA and MLB. I also give updated core plays for both sports. I give home run calls for MLB. And I'm always in Discord throughout the day to answer any questions you have, to talk through the slate. All that's available on Patreon. So definitely check that out. Link down below. I do appreciate all you guys out there that do support the Patreon, that are subscribed there. Really can't thank you enough for all the support you've shown me on Patreon and on this YouTube channel. I mean, like I said at the beginning of the video, we've been taking off on YouTube recently, on the path to 20,000 subscribers. I really can't thank you guys enough for all the support you've shown me. So thank you so much, guys. I do appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.